Okay love, so the first thing you'll need is of course a cushion. I've decided to keep the existing cushion cover on mine. You'll also need some fabric or material. This is actually an old maxi dress, but I really love the fabric and the colour is this gorgeous pink, so I decided to use this. I've also got a crop top that I no longer want, and I love this because it's black and white with this kind of Aztec print on it. So love that. I've also got some diamond trim. This was from Poundland. You'll also need some scissors, these sewing pins, and of course a glue gun and glue stick. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up my maxi dress at the bottom, and I'm going to put the pillow inside. Now obviously if you just have material, then you will just measure this across or fit it over to fit. So which, depending on which fabric you have or piece of clothing, you're just going to cover your cushion basically, and making sure that you have enough material to cover the exact amount of cushion. I'm just smoothing it out there, pulling down the hem and just making sure everything fits. So here I'm just showing you I've kept the hem, which is good because it's already finished, you know, the seam's already done. And so now all I did is I'm tucking in the excess fabric almost like you would wrap a present. So there's the first kind of seam going in, and then I've just tucked the other one underneath. And because this is a no sew project, you will just need to ensure that this seam is as flat and as straight as you can get it. So there I'm just showing you how I've got that seam lined up, and then where I'm going to put the glue. So now I'm just going to flip it round and cut off the excess fabric that I have here. So now I'm just cutting it, making sure that I've got both bits of the fabric together, and also checking that I'm not too close to the cushion, as I want enough excess fabric to make that next seam. So now doing the exact same thing I did on the other side, just tucking in the corners, make sure you get those edges nice and neat and tucked in. And depending on your fabric, it can be a little bit tricky, so just take your time with it. Tucking in the excess bit, so just showing you how I got that corner nice and tight, get the seam straight. And now taking your glue gun, you are just simply going to put the glue right in the corner at first to get that corner nice and tucked in. And really be careful with this, guys, and please, for my younger subscribers, please make sure you get an adult to do this bit for you. The glue from the glue gun gets extremely hot. Even as an adult, I sometimes burn myself, so please be careful, guys. So here I'm just putting the glue all along this seam and just pushing it up to meet the other end of the fabric. As you can see, I kind of missed a bit there, so just make sure you're putting enough glue on the section that you're gluing. So kind of hold it in place until I know that it's kind of made contact and set, and then you can go along each side. Now this actually should have been where I used the pins to just keep the fabric together, helping you keep it there. And so each time you just do a section, you take out a pin and do it section by section. That should have what I should have done, but I was in a hurry to kind of get this finished as my little boy was awake and kept on coming into the room. So use the pins, they would really help you get this section, you know, done properly. So here, just adding the glue all along this seam, closing up the edge, making sure I smooth it along as I go. So I'm just showing you how I got that nice and flat. So now you're just going to tuck in the corner, just like you would do on a present. Tuck it all in, make sure it's nice and neat. So I've got it pinched together at the end, and then you're just going to finish closing off that side. So now just finish as best you can, tuck in that last corner, get it as neat and as tight as you can, making sure there's no gaps, no excess fabric sticking out. It won't be spot on perfect guys, but just get the best that you can. Just pinching it closed. And so I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And so this is what it should look like when you have both sides completely glued down and sealed up. Those are your edges. And so now taking my top, I'm just going to put it across the pillow, across the cushion, sorry, and just seeing, and I like this piece because it kind of reminds me of a half, bow already, so I like that detail. So you know me guys, I love things where, the work is already done for you, like just get kind of embellishments and pieces that are already done, and they take out, most of the hard work for you. So now I'm just basically going to cut across that top. And so obviously if you had a just a piece of fabric, you wouldn't necessarily have to do this, you would already just have it cut to size. But here I'm just cutting from armpit to armpit because I don't need that top section. Also here you could also use a scarf, would look really nice here, an old scarf. You could just tie that around your cushion and maybe tie the bow in front. That would look really sweet. I may have to come back and do that in another DIY. And keep little bits of scraps because they could be used to make tassels. So us crafters, we never get rid of anything. So now I'm just putting that piece of fabric across the cushion, and I've purposely put the big side of the bow on the edge that we've just seamed up, just so it kind of hides what we've just done. So I'm just adjusting it there. So now I'm going to pinch it in the middle, and you can see I've kind of created that bow shape already just by doing that. And so I flip it over and I do the exact same thing on the other side. And then you can get ready to join those center pieces. Now you could sew those pieces together, that would make it a lot easier. In hindsight, maybe I should have just taken maybe a bit of black thread and just stitched that up, but you'll see in a minute when I wrap the diamond wrap around it, you really don't need that. So I'm just applying some hot glue so that I can stick the diamond trim around it. That glue gets everywhere. So now just take your time and wrap it around the center of your bow. And I'm just gluing the end so that it's all nice and neat. You could also use a piece of velvet for this, and there's my little boy making an appearance with his puppy. And so when you're finished, it will look like this, and you're just going to flip over and do the exact same thing on the other side. So yeah, as I was saying, you could use ribbon for this, you could use a piece of velvet, would look really nice, another scrap of a different kind of fabric, maybe a piece of twine, anything you think of that is just, you know, in your stash. You could even sew a button here, so many different variations. And so I'm just adjusting that and making sure it all looks good, it's all even on the other side, and then going to glue that section down. And this is what it will look like when you're finished. Absolutely stunning. I love how the bling just gives it that little bit extra pizzazz. And I really hope you like this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, loves.